All right, welcome back. Well, today we are going to tear down the Losi and go up close and see all the damage from bashing this thing as hard as I bashed it. We took it out to give it a run to find out if the chassis or roll cage or whatever you want to call it, the support for these rear tires would hold up. And as you see, we beat the heck out of this thing. And the body is showing it. My plan was to take the body off before we started sending it. But, long story short, we never did. So I ended up bashing it with the body on it. And by doing that, it has now suffered some damage. So I do have a body on pre-order, so whenever they come out, I'll be replacing this body. Yeah, we'll get it changed out and get it back into its newer condition. And then we'll have a bash body, and we'll have my Shelf Queen body. But I want to take a look and see how everything is holding up, and the only way to do that on this RC is 20 screws so that I can leave the cage on and see what's going on. My plan is to keep taking it off with the roll cage left on the body, but I want to see the damage. So this is becoming the normal, is to pop off all these screws. My daughter actually put this back together. So I have the gun set up to where it won't strip these bolts. Now these plastic retaining clips, turn this up. They do get stuck on this body. So also, I was hearing from a subscriber, Jeffrey, won't say his last name, but he said Losi came out with a fix for the rear flex, is what I've been calling it. And so I asked for a part number, and then he gave me a part number, a part I've been looking up, but I didn't think it was an upgraded part. Because the photos really didn't look that way. And so I had sent the photo of the part over to RC Guy Garage, and I said, hey, is this the upgraded part? Does this look different to you? And he sent a reply back saying no. That looks like the same one I have. Now, even though RC Guy doesn't have one of these RCs right now, he's still he's up to date on what's going on out there with new RCs and all that stuff. So whenever I have questions, he's my go-to guy to find out what's going on, or if I have questions, I ask him. So with that said, Jeffrey had said this part number, LOS 251108, was the upgraded part from Losi. Now I ordered it. I read every comment from everybody, and I listen to everything. If you guys have a fix or an idea, I definitely read it and I look into it. You know, right or wrong, I always look into it. So here is, you can see how big this thing is. It doesn't even get in the camera, but right here, that's our diamond area. That's where we added our plates. Right there. Now, if you did break this, this is only about $28, which is pretty good from Losi. 30 bucks for the both halves of the roll cage. So that's not bad. And my plans were, when I took this thing out bashing, even if it wasn't an upgraded part, like he had said, I was like, well, if I bust it because I put my plates on here and it breaks this arm, I'm going to need it anyway. So I'm really putting in the time and the effort on this Losi, because I do like the RC. And Losi is a good product, and I just want it running at its best capability. So body should be off. I think I got everything now. There we go. So body's off. One thing I wanted to look at was one of these hits. I thought it ripped out, and you can see right here that this bumper has been pushed away. But looking at it now, it didn't break any of the bolts. All that happened when Floyd crashed this thing is a rock got stuck in there. So it wasn't actually pushed away. I thought it broke a mounting tab here, and I was going to take it off and reinforce it. But looking at it, Losi's got it reinforced and got a back bracket that really supports the whole front end of this body, and that's why it keeps folding in. So it really, there's no damage for all the impacts that I had on this thing. Now this side's pulled away a little bit too, and I think I just got to heat up that body, push that out. Now there is a crack right there from that impact. One of those front end impact barrel roll things that I did. So I'm going to get this reinforced from the back so it doesn't continue cracking. But here's the decal. You can see it's pretty much almost gone. Decals back here. The body isn't doing half bad. You can see here it's ripping out some of the plastic from the tabs here, and you can see where I reinforced it here from the tires rubbing. This is Gorilla Tape, and then underneath I have that tin tape that's for air ducts, home air conditioning. Air conditioning duct tape. RC Guy Garage told me what that tape was. It was Havoc tape, or HAVC tape or something like that. But it's for air conditioning, home air conditioning. So that's what that is. And as you see, it hit pretty much evenly on both sides. You can't see the other side, but the patch is about even on both sides. So for the beating I gave this thing, the body, you know, held out tremendously well for not reinforcing it. And then that brings us to this. And as you see, these little pockets here are no longer filled because I didn't go in the wet. It was just loose sand. So they're not filled up right now. Overall, the cage is still pretty much intact. And the plates and the arms here are doing really well. So they didn't rip, and the thing performed pretty good. As you see, I can push on it now without the rear dropping, because before you would grab this, and whether you lifted up on it or you pushed down on it, it would just flex no matter what you did. And with those little plates on there, it's just not doing that anymore, which is awesome. It's definitely way better than it was before. Take a look at the plates. That's how I did it. As you see, no cracks anywhere. It's definitely filthy in here. We gave it a pretty good workout. Motor and electronics, dusty, but doing quite well. Sway bars, shocks have been taking a beating. You can see the spring right there. They're getting all chipped up for the King shocks. But overall, this is one stout RC. Wheels doing really, really good. So I did notice on the front, looks like they're starting. I'm going to check the bolts, but I had sand packed in most of this stuff last time, but not too bad. Looks like all the sand pretty much came away now. You can see the tire starting to rip right there. It's literally, but not bad. I figure with all the ballooning on 8S, this thing was going to rip one of these bead locks out. Now, the front, on the other hand, right here, is going to have to come off. So, and then get this thing tucked back in there. It's definitely pulling out from these front end impacts. So let's get that off. Limit dues back. I don't know if you guys can see that in the background, but limit dues back. Limit dues gonna get a new chassis because it hit a curb and is suffering. So we are going to rebuild limit due. Here in the next week. And the same day I was bashing this, I did bring my X-Maxx to bash it with the new gears, since I swapped out the gears from the last time I took it out. And guess what? I changed pinion and spur this time because the spur had shattered, and happened again. It literally happened again. God, I think there's something in there. So it didn't totally strip this time because I stopped running it. That's packed with dirt. But I stopped running it. But the gear mesh is all messed up. And looking at it, on my X-Maxx, it looks like it stripped out that spur again. Now I do have a GPM, I think is what it's called, spur. So I'm going to try that next, but this was a hot racing one. So there we go. There's our rubber thing. You can see it's already ripped the center bolt. The two side ones have been doing okay. So I'm going to get that thing laid out. And I'm actually going to try to reinforce this right here with maybe some aluminum tape or something over this. Get this cleaned up. And so that I can keep these pieces together, and maybe that'll hold it in and get a better bite. but I haven't broke the front of my front bumper. I know Fog City did, and God, he must have hit real hard, because I've had some pretty bad crashes, and we haven't broke the front of this bumper yet, which is really surprising. Another thing I wanted to look at is raising up the front. Now, these front control arms don't have an extra spot to raise them up. The rear does have adjustments, but the front does not. So, and there's no top adjustment either. So I don't think I'll be able to get it any higher than it is. Well, no, I can add some more spring load, but that's probably gonna change some things. But I do have, I want to say, about 4 or 5 more threads on the front of this. So before I make a change, I want to measure where I'm at right now, because a lot of guys have been asking me what I'm set to. So here's going to be the front. So I'm going to the bottom ring right here, to right where the nut's at, and that's going to be a 1/2 inch gap in the front, dead on a 1/2 inch. So that's my spacing on the front right now. Let's check the rear. So as you see, here's my rear, and I believe it's going to be about the same. It's a little bit more. So the rear is going to be 3/4. 3/4 on the rear. So that's the gap I have on the rear, is 3/4, and then a 1/2 on the front. So that's how much I've turned up the rear, and that's how much I've turned up the front. The rear, I tried to get as close as I could to stock out of the box. Hopefully I was right around there, but I have it set to 3/4. So another comment that I was getting was I should tape up the hole in the bottom of my battery tray, so that sand won't get in there. But as you see right here, hole, 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 big hole, there's the foam. So I have 1 battery, 2 battery, and then foam filling up the bottom. So there's all these holes everywhere, even in the top. So there's literally no way for me to just tape this bottom hole and keep sand and dirt out so the door stops getting jammed. Because of all these holes in this battery tray, sand comes everywhere, as you see. So, but for the most part, since I didn't run in wet conditions like I did on the snow, things are just kind of dusty and not really like muddy. Last time was muddy, so hopefully I'll be able to just spray this with some dry wash and then blow it dry. So there we go. And you can see the bracket on this side. Here's where I did the X so that we were facing out. I tried to make this cut contour to the roll cage. Same with the bottom. I did my best. As you see, it's not from end to end. I just drilled in 3 corners. This one, actually, it wasn't low enough, so I didn't drill through the bottom. So 1, 2, 3 are drilled through that, and this actually just went through the diamond. And since I plated it both sides, I just squished it together. Now this side has had a little more flex than the other side. as you see, instead of this bottom corner just going in when you push down on this, it's relying on this bar now. Well, actually these two bars, but this bar, since it's the one that doesn't have the support like the top, that's the one getting most of the impacts, I should say. As you see, there still is very minimal flex up and very minimal flex down. I don't see any cracking around the bolts, around the cage at all. And that was my big concern, was cracking. So if I wanted it stiffer, all I would do is plate this. I would actually run a plate that was over this bar, and sandwich a plate here so that I don't have flex here, if I wanted more strength to the rear. But I'm very happy with these small brackets, so I'm going to leave it that way. If I do break it here, then we'll look at something else. But we'll keep bashing it this way and see if anything gets damaged. From the looks of it, as hard as I bashed it, I don't think we're going to have any issue. So there we go, guys. There is the Super Baja Rey, the after run. You can see how hard I was on it. I didn't take it easy. I didn't baby it. I full send everywhere. Everywhere I went, I took this thing, you know, let my buddy Floyd run it. He had some crashes with it, and it survived. You know, this plastic cage all the way around it really helped protect it. We didn't bend or break anything, which I'm really, really shocked about. Especially on a couple of those barrel rolls, it was pretty hard. The guys are doing really good. The heads don't swivel on the inside. They're just fixed. But none of the decals are coming off on the guys on the inside. None of the dashboard decals are coming off. Now I did notice the top of the dash has got some wrinkling on the decal, but that's about it. All the lights are still working. They still have all the screens still on them, which normally the screens fall off, 1 or 2 bashes. At least they did on my other Losis. And this one is not. So there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Super Baja Rey. I'm very impressed. I 100% with this fix on the back. I would recommend this to anybody that wants to buy one. You want to buy one? You got a little repair to do, a $8 fix on the back, and you can get out there and bash it. And there is that other guy that built that other reinforcement brace. Can't wait to see his video of him out there running it, to see how his does. Maybe his bracket is really gonna support the back of this thing and take some impacts. But until I see it out there bashing, until it's proven that it works, I'm not going to change my fix. My fix is working and it's doing pretty great. A lot of guys commented on the video. A lot of support out there. Still some negative, but you're going to have that. But for the most part, definitely positive on this. So I love it. I like it. I recommend it. Losi did a awesome job. Other than this fix in the back for $8, I mean, you can't complain. That's cheaper than most RCs I spend on modifying them to make an RC where I enjoy it. I usually end up spending $200-300 on an RC to get it to where I like to bash it. I like to run it, whether it's an off-road, whatever. And for this, $8, and I don't have to spend any more, and I like the body, and I like the design, I like the lights. You get 6 tires with this thing. You get a full, 3 light bars on this thing. You get really good electronics that are fast. You get awesome shocks that are just handling. They're handling the whoops and the jumps. I mean, you for, you know, $900, you know, you can't ask for any more. At least I can't, you know, because I paid that for my first Creighton, and I would take this over a Creighton 8S any day. This is way more fun than a Creighton 8S, and this is definitely built better. You get more for your money, you know, here. 6 tires, a full light kit, you know, I mean, a full roll cage. You get a lot with this Losi. You get bead lock tires that you don't have to pre-glue. You can change them out, and you get 6 of them. So enough of me ranting. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully I showed you everything there is on this Losi Super Baja Rey 2.0. From this point on, not going to video it anymore. I will take it out and bash, and you will see those videos. But until something breaks, I'm just going to enjoy this RC. I'm going to get a new body on it. I'm going to get it cleaned up, and I'm going to go have fun, not bash it as hard as I did last time, because that's just not how I bash. I don't beat up my RCs that way. But there we go. This Losi Super Baja Rey 2.0 is done for me on my channel. So there we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I recommend you guys getting it, and we will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Just a little quick heads up. Limit due that crashed into the curb and is all busted up. We do have the chassis for it. We do have all the parts for it. So stay tuned for limit due to get rebuilt. Getting a new chassis, getting a lot of new stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, comment below if you want to see me rebuild it. If you don't, comment below and let me know that you don't want to watch it, that there's plenty of them out there. And I'll skip the rebuild on limit due. And I'll just build it off camera. But thanks for watching. Like I was saying, 32 minutes bashing. That's pretty good for one set of packs of batteries. 32 minutes to bash it. Let's take a look at this support brace, see if it broke. So there we go, the sandwich plates. I was planning on the rod right here, this one, to break, but they held up well. This one does have a slight bow in it, which is okay. That means it's working. You can see the tape that I put at the top, and it did rub, still rubbed on the tape on those landings right here. So I have Gorilla tape, and then I have a silver aluminum tape underneath it. So it did rub, but I didn't notice it. And it picked up speed because it's not dragging these tires on the ground everywhere it goes. So there we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this fix. And oh, there's the garbage splash. Must have been something in that. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching.